Hey, what's up, guys? It's me, Luis, coming to you from this old vape shop, and I want to introduce you to a friend of mine. His name is
Matt Berger.
And Matt Berger, where are you from, my man?
Oh, well, I'm from Phoenix, but I'm also from Butt Out.
Nice.
Yeah, another vape shop here in town.
Yes, Bud Out, one of my favorite shops ever.
I certainly hope so.
You know why?
Why?
It's where I started vaping.
Oh, shit.
Yep.
Who helped you?
This guy right here. I think I came in on your second day open.
Was it that early?
Yeah. Literally because I was hanging out with some buddies from church.
Okay.
Right off of 12th Street and just north of Virginia. They live right next to North High School. And it was cool because I was using the disposable cigarette kind of things.
Dude, we didn't even have any signs or anything. I think there were like paper signs up there.
Yeah, and then it was always like, your sign always said, if we're not here when we open, call this number.
Every morning, because I worked like 6 months straight without a day off, including holidays.
I'm right there with you.
And yeah, we're gonna work at Easter and Christmas and stuff. I'm Jewish. I don't care. I don't make my employees work on those days.
No.
Well, at least the non-heathens, at least the guys with families. I'm like, all right.
Take the day off, guys.
Yeah, but I was always like, I'm not a super punctual person.
Yeah.
That's the understatement of the century. And I almost every morning I'd get a call from somebody because it'd be like 11:05, and I'd be like, I'll be right there, but I hadn't hopped in the shower yet.
You didn't wake up yet or nothing?
Yeah, so it worked out.
So, yeah, no, man, I remember going there, and I was going to the liquor store next door because they had these disposable cigarettes with a little rubber tip on them. And I literally walked into the shop. I was walking to the liquor store. I was like, hey, there's an e-cig store in there. And I walked in, and you were there, and you shook my hand the same way I do with my customers here at the shop. Because that's where I learned everything was from you. And you showed me, was it Totally Wicked batteries?
That was all I had back then. I started with just some kits from Totally Wicked.
How much did those kits cost you?
I think they were like $75, and they sucked. And that was problematic because I had some pretty good juice.
Yeah.
Even back then, I had Indigo Vapor, some Totally Wicked stuff. Stuff was a little hit or miss.
You still sell Indigo?
Yeah, a couple flavors.
Yeah.
They have really good tobaccos. I'm not a big fan of their fruit flavors, but it's been years since I've tried their fruit flavors, so I'm sure everybody improves. Some of the best tobaccos, like we have a couple of good tobaccos from Jay, former employee, longtime friend who now works for Fender, and he worked on a couple tobaccos for a very long time.
Yeah.
But that and Prime Vaping. So I had a bunch of flavors, but the devices were awful and they were expensive, so it was really tough to sell them.
Right.
And then what I had, and then within the third week of that month, it was really slow. Like the first day was good because I had some of my delivery customers, and but the third week I started carrying, I think, what were they called? Fuck, what were those things called? Not the Clearamizers, the CE5. So no, this is like a year before the iClear 16. They were like little tiny tanks, and you could remove the coil and stuff, and then the pass-through battery, like just the very simple Ego battery that people don't even use for vaping anymore. They just use it for weed. So it's like, all right.
Great thing. It's a
yes.
great thing.
And then, so all of a sudden, I sold something better for half the price. So then a couple people came in. James Franchino's longtime friend. He now handles all of my ordering and stuff like that. So he left me a review on Reddit, got me a lot of business, and then my buddy Roman, who doesn't vape, who I went to school with in ASU, he sent me in somebody who was in the 12-step program. She sent me a bunch of people, so that was the little boost that I needed.
Yeah, that's when you started blowing up.
Yes.
'Cause I remember getting in there early on. It was you were there by yourself. I think Will Cohen was hanging out at the time too.
I don't think that early.
No, not that early?
No. So
Okay,
I had
maybe it was a few weeks after that or something.
I had a few good months before.
Before you got.
Yes.
Before you no, Will
Yes.
Cohen. Goddamn Will Cohen. Anyways. So, yeah, dude, you got me, dude. You sold me that first day. I didn't have the money at the time, so then I had to come back the next day, and you sent me out of there with some Totally Wicked cinnamon juice and I think candy cane flavor or something like that. I can't even remember what it was. But I enjoyed them, and it's what pretty much got me off of cigarettes and cigarettes. It took me about 6 months to get off of my beer and cigarettes.
Do you still have a cigarette, or because it doesn't. I'm straight up with my customers. I've only bought one pack since May of 2011.
Right.
So I really don't consider myself a smoker. Once every few months, I'll have one if I'm at the casino or there's like one friend of mine who's a musician. I like, so I know so I smoke half of one. It tastes like shit.
Right.
And then that's it. So it's like almost
I think
it's like a nostalgic thing, and it's like just a way to remind myself that I don't know. I it's weird because some people that vape, they need to they'll have a cigarette and they'll go right back to cigarettes. But everybody's different. So you got to know your own discipline level. But
I think for me, like the only time I really will have a cigarette is probably when I'm with my brother, and that just happens to be when we're both drinking together.
How can you own a vape shop and smoke a cigarette?
Oh, I don't smoke the whole thing. I do the same thing.
I'm just kidding. Like some people are so hardline with that. Like, oh, how could you or anybody? How could people smoke? And the way that's ridiculous because in a perfect world, nobody would smoke anyway. Vaping wouldn't exist, and the way I look at it is if I have a customer that comes in, they smoke 2 packs a day, which is a lot, and they come back in 2 weeks and they're smoking half a pack a day. Oh, they're still smoking half a pack a day, but they're smoking 30 less cigarettes a day than they were, which is like 1,000 less cigarettes a month.
Right.
So it's like that's all. Everybody's different. I don't really go. If people are interested, then I'll give them a card and stuff. But if people are smoking, I'm not like, oh, here you go. You need to.
That's 2000. That's 2013, Matt.
Oh yeah, well, but it's weird. Like I don't think it works that well as a gift. It's just not. They gotta want it in their head. But once they do that, vaping is so good, and there's so many great shops. Well, there's a decent amount of good shops, and there's a ton of good juice. Like there's never been a better time to be a customer because it's not like you have 2 shops, and it doesn't matter even if they treat you like shit. You have to go there anyway.
Right.
You could vape a legitimately great flavor every week for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, there's a bajillion juice makers.
And not just that, the hardware, you spend $100, or at least at butt out retail prices, you spend $100. Whatever, I gotta make my money. And you get something you get something that doesn't leak.
Right. Tastes
fantastic, has incredible battery life, and it lasts a long time. So it's like it's crazy, and a lot of that is I think the improvements in juicing technology is driven a lot from the vape nerd community. As much as I despise cloud contests and stuff like that, those are the people that are always looking to push the advancement of the industry itself because that's what they want. So I also hate trick competitions.
So let's talk about the culture a little bit. So that's so you've already stated you hate them, but
no, I don't hate. I mean, look, I look that's more. I never learned. I've been vaping for a long time. I never learned how to build. It just didn't interest me. So I don't vaping. I just don't want to mess around with it. I don't have any. It tastes really good, but I don't really have any interest in this other than if I use it, I don't smoke.
Yeah,
that's what it is. And look, people are different. Look, everybody's got I'm a little bit exaggerating. Everybody's got their different interests.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm going to talk a little shit about trick competitions, but then I dress up like the band Sabaton and go have a great time and fanboy out. So everybody's got their thing.
Right.
It's
like cosplaying for vapors.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a whole culture on itself. I mean, to me, sometimes I think we're both older. We've been in the industry for so long. How old are you?
Yeah, I'm old now. I'm 29. I'm going to be 30 in August.
Yeah. Smokey?
Yeah.
So you're 10 years younger than me, but we're probably older locally here. I mean, you were what, like the 3rd or 4th shop in Phoenix?
It was the second.
You were the second shop?
I believe in Maricopa County, 1st in Phoenix.
Okay. Because Ziquid was open and then Extreme Vapor was open at that time?
I think it was Ziquid, myself, Synergy. I think Extreme opened up around then. Vapor Vortex opened up, I think, in January.
Yeah.
Vape Escapes opened up pretty early.
They opened up like a month before I did. So I remember we went to their grand opening together.
Yes.
Yep, and you were handing out butt-out cards.
Whatever, like, I got nothing against him, but, like,
Right.
the dude ignored me, so I'm like, all right. And plus, like, realistically, I was a little younger back then, so I didn't
You were so aggressive back then.
Yeah, I didn't always do the most, how can I put this nicely to myself? I wasn't always the most diplomatic.
Right.
So, but, it's all water under the bridge as far as I'm concerned. Who else?
I ended up coming in like number 11 or 12.
Who else?
I think Vape Club was open before me.
Vape Central, I think, was open.
They were open after us.
Okay,
opened after us, yeah. But Vape Club was open before me because I remember watching Dave Ritchie's videos when he was doing them. And then
yeah,
we did. So I got into it, and fortunately, because you showed me how to do it. But back to the culture. Let's get back to the culture of it all. Because we've been around for so long, I remember you telling me that you felt like my store had kind of matured a little bit quicker than yours because I had gotten into the mech mods in the building sooner than you did.
I did not think, just because it's hard for me to sell anything that I can't sell.
Right.
Like, or not even that I can't use, but that I don't like necessarily see the point of.
Right.
And look, obviously there's been millions, I don't know if millions, tens and hundreds of thousands of people that enjoy dripping, not as much anymore because of the tanks, but
right.
So I had to play a lot of catch up, and I had a reputation as a newbie shop for a long time, just
right.
because look, if I was still in charge of everything, we'd still be selling MVPs.
Oh, dude,
and
I would totally
those
bring
were
back
great.
The MVPs. I would bring them back right now.
MVPs, Nautiluses, like, and it's hard for me to, like, if I'm, I don't know if pressuring is, but if I'm pressuring a long-time customer of mine to upgrade their hardware, it better be a dramatically better experience.
Right.
So if somebody comes in with the Cleto and stuff like that, and they're not being like, oh, I want more, like, I'm not going to sell them anything else.
Oh, it's
like,
on with TFV12, bro.
Yeah, okay. So people can go through 30 ml of juice a day and then not come back? Yeah, that's...
Then they go to the competitors down the street making the stuff in the back?
Yeah.
Not down the street, but technically just another shop. Sorry.
Another shop. So I did not see that taking off just because
right.
I'm like, I don't see the point. And then, I mean, for all of 2014, really until the Nautilus in the summer of 2014, which brought good hit and good right. smoke production and stuff like that, it brought it.
The Nautilus Mini was the tank that changed the whole industry.
I agree with you because it brought it back, because it's really hard for the average person, for somebody who just comes in and they don't want to deal with any of this. They don't want it to be confusing. If it's like, yes, you need to spend 5 weeks learning how to build coils, like, right. And I had to play catch up because it was really like, 3, 4, 5 months where I missed out on an entire segment of the market. Whatever. I mean, that's all right.
Right.
I mean, it was all clones and stuff like that too, and
right.
so I ended up throwing all that shit away a long time ago because I can't. I realized that I couldn't bitch about people cloning my juice if I was selling clone hardware. So it's like, all right.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, like, I hired a kid on early on. His name was Sam. You remember Sam. And that was an intentional thing to get him in here because I was slow. I mean, my first 6 months, your first 6 months, you exploded, right? You blew up. You went from 0 employees to like 6 employees within 6 months.
I think within the first year it was crazy, and it was tough. It was tough, dude. Like, it was like making a lot of money, but just I don't have any formal business experience. I have some retail and some sales experience, but I didn't know how to run a business, and thankfully my dad helped me out a lot with that.
Yeah.
And I don't know, do sales tax forms and payroll taxes and stuff like that.
I don't know that.
Well, if you
I have accountant.
Yeah, but except it takes me my payroll taxes for both of my LLCs. One is just for payroll. It takes me to get everything sent in, checks written out, paid on the EFTPS, or the EFTS.
Yeah.
Takes me 10 minutes.
Damn.
Because I have it all. Google Sheets, man, it's all auto-populated, and I have to stay. I mean, look, it would save me time I'm sure if I paid somebody, but I have to be very connected with. I have to be very connected with every dollar that goes in and out of my business.
Right.
You know, I've kind of tried to stay back from that a little bit because it also stresses me the fuck out.
Right.
But yeah, we know this is a month of positivity.
The month of positivity. We started it last month. Because
look, realistically, and I can almost guarantee I'm not that most vape shops are. There's so many shops and gas stations and smoke shops, and that's cool. I mean, customers have so many options and conveniences, but we're not as busy as we used to be, and we still do well. And the customers that we have are incredible. Like, they're so easy to deal with, and the processes that we have, the business runs so much smoother. But that took a long time, so it's like, you know, I wish that I could take the knowledge that I have, and I would legitimately have
14 shops now. Yeah,
but then you know what? Then people would say, "But out used to be good until they had a bunch of shops." So on that, I don't ever want that to happen. I have two way different sort of markets. I have one in Tempe on Mill, so it's a lot of, you know, we get, I don't know, the term is regular, but people who live around there, and you know, people are 30, 40, 9-to-5ers and stuff, but we get a lot of younger people, so it's a completely different market. Whereas where it's a little more of a hobbyist thing, or maybe they didn't smoke, which I really don't like. Don't like selling vape stuff to people that didn't smoke, even though, like, it's delicious, but there's no point. But
yeah, I mean, there's no reason to put something in your lungs if you're a smoker and trying to get off cigarettes anyways.
My personal opinion is, I mean, and I don't really know how much I can say with FDA and stuff like that, but I've been vaping for 6 years, and I want there to be a lot more testing, because let's say if they're like, if you vape over X amount of watts, then the risk of certain issues, it goes up by 40%. Okay. Yeah. Or let's say if you vape, you know, stuff that has strawberry extract, then you run the risk of extra chemicals and stuff like, just, you know, but look, I can't imagine that it's completely harmless. Right. I just realistically, it's still chemicals and stuff, but that's why I don't like selling it to people that don't smoke, and I don't really need to say anything about smoking cigarettes, but you know,
the science is already there.
Right. So that's what it is. It's you know, people have. I can't say that it's harm reduction.
You can't say it's harm reduction?
I don't know. I think that would be a health claim.
Even with the Royal College of Physicians saying it's 95% safer than smoking?
I really try to stay away from stuff like that. At least at this point, it used to be where people are like, "Oh, I heard this is worse for you." Now people are more like, "Is my battery going to blow up?" And I say no, because you're in a good shop, and we're going to give you a battery case.
Give you something that's up to your knowledge.
Yeah, and we're actually going to explain what not to do, like not put it in your pocket. I don't think that's more of I don't think that's a vape shop thing. I think that's more of a smoke shop thing. Right. Because I could have a customer come in, not so much anymore with this regulated stuff, but, you know, especially in the mechanical mod days, here you go. They don't know about battery safety and all that, so it falls, you know, anytime, I hate it. Anytime, you know, the battery blows up, they're like, ha, Darwinism or whatnot, oh, idiot customer. And I'm like, fuck you, it's not. I mean, maybe they should have done a little bit of research, but they don't know. Right. It's the shop's fault.
They didn't explain it to them.
No, and then, you know, it's ridiculous, and it's like, oh, yeah, you should, oh, yeah, dumbass. It's like, yeah, if that happened to you, you want everybody calling you a dumbass? Right. So that does not make the vaping
and that's part of the culture, too.
Yeah, culture. Sorry.
No, we can bring that back to the culture, though, because, like, the culture has gotten to this, the culture I was telling you about, it took me like 6 months to get to, and then I hired Sam, and it brought in those kinds of customers, and I kind of embraced the culture, the cloud blowing at the time in the building, you know. And it's kind of changed into this whole giant machine now, you know.
Was that when you sold out? No, I'm just kidding.
Possibly. But I'm back. I'm
All
back.
right, all
So
right.
we're back to the basics now. But for me, like, I enjoyed the culture. It was cool. It was fun until I realized that the culture didn't really care a whole lot about the shops. You know, they went to either online or they went to places that would sell them giant bottles of juice.
I don't think that so look, I don't think that that's necessarily all true, because realistically it was those people. Look, I got a ton of not a ton. I have probably less than a lot of other shops, but I got people that are hobbyists and stuff that
Right.
come support me, even though they know because they appreciate the work that went into the juice that comes out of my lab.
Right.
And then what was the other part?
We're just
Very
talking
tired.
about the
No,
culture.
like the what was the second part of what you said? There's
that they
big
went
bottles. So there was very early on, and it's weird how it shifted. It used to be like, ooh, I have this juice that nobody could find, and it was
Right.
it was mostly
Space Jam.
shit. It was no, not Space Jam. It was like Mad Murdochs and gross shit,
Right.
and the shit that tasted like licorice, and it was awful.
Right.
But it was more like, look at this juice, how exclusive I am. I'm like, all right, nerd. But now it's, look, I used to be frustrated. I'm like, how could people buy cheap juice? But, you know, because there's places with inexpensive e-liquid.
Right.
Very, you know,
Which fits a market of smokers that maybe can't afford a
yeah,
premium
look,
juice or
people,
lab-made
let's say
and stuff.
if you're paying, let's say you can save $70 a month by going there.
Right.
And let's say you're making $10, $15 an hour. That's a lot of money. So I have no issue with people doing that.
Right.
Now I do, if there are customers of mine that end up doing that, I'm like, next time just hit me up and I'll cut you. The way my philosophy is, if you have money, then you pay the full price because I got to make money. And if you don't and you're a long time customer, I'll hook it up because I'm still making money, and you get to vape juice that you like.
Right.
So, you know, it's I can't really be upset at that.
Well,
I can't.
I'll go back to the thing is, I don't think it's the people trying to save money, and we'll go back to what you were saying on how healthy it is or how healthy it isn't. But somebody, you know, a lot of these guys now are vaping 120 mils in a day, 2 days. You know?
That's probably not very good for
right,
you.
right. So it's like, okay, so
But
they're
it
gonna
saved their life. Hashtag vaping saved my life.
Right, there you go. So for me, it's like, man, okay, so you got a cheaper juice, but you're consuming a bunch more of this stuff that you're putting into your lungs, and overall, it's probably easier to not smoke and not vape. You're probably better off if you don't do it. But how are they harming themselves exponentially by doing?
We don't know, but here's
Right.
what frustrates me is every time there comes a study, and look, there's obviously going to be some bias in any study. Every time they come out with a study that shows any little negative thing with vaping, it's a bullshit, fake news, and I'm like, maybe you should just realize it for what it is. People are trying to do research. The best, you know, obviously there's some bias, you know, I'm sure, but what if it is legitimate research? What if it is you vape over X amount?
Right.
Let's say they come on, there is conclusive evidence,
Right.
non-biased conclusive evidence that if you vape over 80 watts or whatnot, that the risk of potential issues, it increases exponentially.
Right. If the science comes back that way.
Right. Yeah, that doesn't.
At that point, shop owners like us would have to stop selling
No,
devices
but
like that.
no, because I think the vape community would say, "Oh, that's bullshit," blah blah blah.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, like that's you can do that, and you can vape it whatever you want, because look, I mean, it's you can go and buy. I can go and buy a pack of cigarettes right now.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's not like an ethical thing. It's not like, oh, how dare you do something that you enjoy that can potentially be more harmful. But it's like, then you can't say there's this thing where it's like vaping is this magical thing. Now I will say that, I mean, I wouldn't say it didn't cure me and make me healthy. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
if anything, it made some of us fatter.
well, it's owner's body. You have to have owner's hair and owner's body, and I tried that. It didn't work out so well. It works better on you, but just because in my head it was gonna be like the Gordon Gekko in Wall Street, and it wasn't like that. I couldn't grow good facial hair, and none of my asshole friends were like, you look fucking ridiculous, but
They weren't honest with you.
no, I'm like,
Yeah,
Fuck
that
you guys.
long
Look
hair
at
slicked
look
back,
at those
dude.
pictures.
Right.
You assholes.
But that was you at the time. You were on top of the damn world.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm
I did the
still
same
doing
thing,
all
man.
right.
I did the same damn thing, dude.
Yeah, a lot of partying and not necessarily being the most productive with my time and money. But you get
Right.
older and you learn, and
Yeah.
you know, so for the past almost 2.5 years, I've been hitting the gym and I can guarantee that I would not be able to do that, or it would be tremendously more difficult
Right.
if I still smoked a pack to a pack and a half a day, and you
Right.
can make your own inferences from that.
Oh, I can tell simply because how I drink beer. I mean, if I was drinking and smoking, I'd smoke a pack to 2 packs.
I
in
just
6
talked
hours.
about how it made me. It was my,
Right.
and you're like, I can drink my beer in a more
and
effective
not get a hangover.
manner. Oh, okay.
And not get a hangover, dude. It's
All
true.
right.
Because if you put down a pack of cigarettes in 6 hours, it sucks the next day because you're just like a bird shit in
And
your
it's
mouth, and it's
expensive.
horrible.
It's expensive too. Although sometimes people spend a lot of money on vaping. I'm like, all right,
Yep.
you know, to each their own. If you can afford it, so be it.
Yeah. So the culture itself, it's been kind of interesting to me how it's changed, how it's shifted, you know. And then now I'm kind of doing this vape rap stuff, the vape advocacy stuff like that. So it's kind of interesting, but it sucks because they don't care about the advocacy part. But a lot of people don't care about the advocacy part. You know?
I've personally, like, full disclosure, I've kind of, I don't know if burnt out is the right word, but I just,
yeah, it's difficult because you don't necessarily see stuff getting done, you know.
right, and I know that there are. I'm not
Right.
naive enough to, but I just in terms of the overall participation by the percentage of vape shops in the valley,
Right.
I'm like, all right.
So in your mind, if they don't give a shit, you don't
Well,
give a shit.
no, not necessarily that,
Okay.
but I'm sorry, when the vape community, there are shops that we know sell to underage people.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
You know, they blow them away with their customer service, I guess.
Yeah.
And and there are places that we know will not necessarily do ethical things. There are a lot of good shops here
Right.
in town.
Yes,
so I'm
sir.
not, this is not like, oh, it's only but out.
Right.
And of course, this whole vape shop.
Of course.
No, there's a lot of great shops. So those are more of the outlier things. Or there's a shit ton of companies that they spend more time designing their goofy ass labels that definitely appeal to kids.
Right.
And are, I mean, and it's copyright infringement. Nobody does anything about that.
Right. Right.
So then why? I mean, nobody calls them out. It's like, doesn't matter. Oh yeah, advocate, but I'm gonna sell my thing that looks like fucking Gushers.
Well, I think calling them out only promotes them more. I think that's why people quit calling them out because any press is good press, right?
But
so whether
there's
it's positive or negative.
There's no actual. What's the right term?
There's no regulation.
Well, not even that. But it's like if a place is selling their underage kids, they can still buy their shit. They should be blackballed, so
Right.
they can't buy anything.
Yeah.
So if I as an owner would say that in a public manner, oh, I'm a hater.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, okay. Or places charging for samples and stuff like that. There's some places are like, oh yeah, that shop didn't make me do. You have to do it.
Right. It's the
You
law
have to.
now.
So don't, you know. And it's like I'm gonna do the best that I can to do at least as many of the things that within my scope and ability that the FDA needs me to do.
Right. And I think we need regulation. You know.
I agree.
You know, I think it'll raise the quality of product that we're ingesting into our lungs. It'll raise the quality of product of the hardware we're using to make sure it's safe, especially battery safety wise, like we were talking earlier. A lot of people don't like that. They still want it to be the wild, wild west where you can do whatever you want.
Well,
And
I think like any regulation, all of a sudden is jackbooted thugs that are gonna come into your shop and round you up to the camps.
Right.
But you have to have it because look, I have a lab.
Yeah.
But unless you've actually been there, how do you know?
Right.
Maybe I made up some pictures. Maybe we're not being sanitary.
Right.
And obviously we are. Everybody's welcome to come to our lab. It's at 3201 North 16th Street, Suite 14. So hit me up for a scheduled visit if you like. I'm very proud of it.
It's a cool
But
lab.
how do you know? How do you know that we're not? I mean, I've seen. Remember Dr. Crimmy's lab?
Yeah.
I mean, look. I started off making juice like we had our little this was house juice.
Right.
Now it's like, I hate when people are like, oh, so you just sell house juice. I'm like, I mean, it all comes from the same place, but it's lab made and stuff. House juice has generally been like cheap shit that they can sell.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
That's
something they're
as good.
squeezing in the back. And doing that.
There is a certain, like, look, I was mixing on a little table with the same like syringe, and looking back, I'm like, I'm glad nobody died.
Right.
But it's like, but there really is no book of how to run a vape business,
Right.
Unless feel free to purchase my upcoming book, How to Run a Vape Business, in 2013 and 2014.
Right.
No, but you have to learn, and at this point, the knowledge is up there, and there is no excuse. And there are places that, like, this is the very least, you have to have some sort of quality control, because people are putting the chemicals into their lungs.
Right.
That's the reality of it. I remember there are places using food dye and shit. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I brought in one with
Gimmicky.
food dye.
Yeah, it was your fucking Heisenberg shit.
And it worked. It was great.
Yeah, at the cost of your soul.
Sometimes you gotta try stuff, man.
No, I know.
So,
I mean, it's a lot. I'm having a lot of... Look, I love that every time I have somebody come in that is a smoker and is interested in vaping, it's terrific. And the people that are involved in vape culture, again, there's certain things that really... I'm very, like, I'm either a love it or hate it guy. I never got into it. So, look, a lot of this is a little bit tongue-in-cheek. But those are the people that really, I can almost guarantee that a lot of this hardware and certain things wouldn't exist, because those are the people. I'm not going to hear about that shit. I don't watch any of those videos.
Right. Yeah, the culture has definitely driven the technology, which is cool, because there's not a better time to start vaping than now, because of the quality of products
and the shops and stuff like that. But I wish that there were some changes in the overall philosophy of that culture.
Right.
Again, like I said, like any sort of research is immediate. That's even the slightest bit negative is immediately fake news.
Right.
Which we hear a lot. In 2017, but
thanks, President Trump.
Yeah, well,
but apparently it was fake news.
What?
Commie.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
I mean,
no ties.
He looks like he's made out of orange sherbet.
Ooh, orange sherbet's good. I don't think it tastes like orange sherbet though.
I don't think so either. I think it tastes like 2 pounds of tanning makeup. Or whatever. Like, horrible. I don't understand, like, regardless, like, everybody, there are certain people that, I have my own political opinions and stuff, but I got employees and friends that are vastly divergent in terms of their opinions and stuff, and everybody's entitled, it's just their opinion on, it's not like their opinion and all of a sudden somebody sees that on Facebook, all of a sudden it's law. That's just the way they believe based on their own research and their own lives and their own personal set of morality. And that's totally cool, but people are like, well, if you voted for X and S, you're immediately an idiot. I can't be your friend. I'm like, okay, chill the fuck out.
Yeah, that's the culture we live in. That's the world culture we live in now, unfortunately.
Right. Well, I will say that if I was Hillary Clinton, I'd be feeling pretty bad I lost to Donald Trump. She should have gone low. She should have just straight up roasted him, and it's so easy.
Right.
Yeah, but
every comedian's doing it now.
Yeah, and sometimes he gets triggered, and that's okay. It's okay in this country to be a snowflake if you want.
One way or the other.
I have it butt out as a safe space in like a cool way.
Right, like QT.
I can almost guarantee that yesterday was the first time in history that a Jew, a cripple, and a transgender woman were talking about life in a vape shop while listening to Slayer's Dead Skin Mask.
That was yesterday.
That was last night at Mill.
Nice.
I got a friend. So this is, just a divergent thing. I have a friend of mine, Renee, who's been coming in to the Phoenix shop really from almost the first month. And at a certain point, she said, like, hey, I'm transitioning. I'm like, all right, so it's still strange. Like,
Right.
I'll never understand it. But the closest way that this is somebody that's in their late 40s, that's very intellectual, served
Right.
in the military. So it's not like an idiot.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I feel like I love talking to people that have lived just crazy different lives than I have, because I'll never really understand whether it's musicians or military or different
Right.
sexualities and stuff, or different religions and races and stuff. It's very interesting to me, and I wish that, especially with that, I know that's like ridiculously so. It's like a hot button topic,
Right.
and look, it's not like it makes any sense. It's not like I could ever relate to, oh, I feel like I'm a woman in my head, or vice versa.
Right.
But you talk to these people, and it's not like you just talk to them and you're like, oh shit, they're human beings too.
Right, and see, we can credit that to the vape culture too, because
Well, I don't know if the vape culture is the
vape
most
culture,
progressive
the
on
fact-
certain things.
the fact that you vape, the fact that I vape, the fact that Mac
Oh,
vapes
yeah.
has brought us all together in this whole new culture of people.
That's what I. It was like.
We're only judgmental towards other vapors if they don't vape like we do.
Yes.
Right. But
Or
if you're
they
whatever
don't
you
listen
do,
to good music.
Yeah, whether you're
like I do, of course. He's like, "Are you gonna wear a butt out shirt?" I'm like, "No," because I always have butt out here.
there you go.
To me, I wanted, one of my favorite parts of smoking was the smoking section.
Right.
Where you go out, there's a whole bunch of random people. There's generally not anything to do but just talk.
Right.
And I don't know who the fuck these people are, but we all smoke cigarettes.
Right.
So, all right, well, hey, what's up? Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
That's how I met at Rosie McCaffrey's in Phoenix. That's how I met my buddy Quentin,
Right.
who is the godfather of butt out, who got me into vaping. We kept in touch. We were both in the smoking section.
You guys were both bike riders too, weren't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He's like, you need to get a bike, and then we were off and on in touch, and then when I did, and then so be it. The rest is history.
Yeah.
Or hopefully it's not history, as in like we're
Yeah.
But I have so many different people because smoking, it just cuts into everybody from every single demographic smokes,
So-
except maybe if you're Mormon,
Right.
or to where it's like forbidden or whatever.
Right.
But everybody smokes, so it's like I get to meet all these different people, and I grew up. I went to Jewish school from age of 6 to the age of 18,
Right.
and most of 95% of those people were white, upper middle class Jews. So all of a sudden, I get to meet just all of these people from all sorts of interesting walks of life. So that's what I really like about my shop. That to me,
Right.
if I ever had another business, it would have to be something like that. Like, to me, I love vaping. I love what it's done, and we have great product. But to sell that allows me to continue that. I don't know. You know what I'm talking
No,
about.
I know. You're just able to have relationships with different people from different
That's
walks
what
of
I
life.
really love.
Yeah.
That, like, when I've recently started working shifts back at Mill. Like, I'm putting in a crazy ton of hours because, and it was long overdue, because I look at the numbers and stuff like that, and
Right.
it's stressful. It's stressful
Yeah.
because it's just numbers. You look, why isn't this? Let me look at certain things and see how I can adjust. But I'm at the shop. These people come in. They're all cool as shit. They're all friendly. Some of them I
Right.
know. Some of them I don't. These are people that are driving out of their way to support me. And, sometimes we joke around. We shoot the shit. We play games and stuff.
Right.
That's not work.
Right.
That's not work.
No, we're not
They're
digging ditches.
entertaining me. I'm entertaining them. They have a lot of pride in the stuff that I sell, and part of that is my job to do that.
Right.
You don't come in. The butt out experience is not like, hey, what's up? How can I help you? That is good service,
Right.
but that's the service you expect at Walgreens.
Yeah.
Whereas with us, it's hugs and friendships and really just getting people excited. And look, I'm not the most modest person about, I'm not quite like the king of Vape Town era. I've chilled out a lot, but I really am proud of my business, and I feel like for what we do, our niche, it's it's for smokers run by smokers.
Right.
I have, just in retail, including myself, I probably have 15 years of experience. My lab guys, 6 years of experience combined. Vaping experience is probably 25 years.
Right.
And then the time that it took to make all of our juice and put time into that's probably a decade.
Right.
So that's what you get, and it's similar here.
So, well, you were talking
Except
about
you don't carry
earlier.
enough of our
Without
juice.
juice.
We could always change that.
Right, right. So, like in regards, so you were talking about the smoking section at restaurants and bars. What I've noticed at restaurants and bars, there used to be a time when we could go to a bar, right, and there was people smoking, and they would see us vaping, and they'd be like, "What the hell is that thing?"
I know.
You know.
It
And
was
now they
like-
almost hate us. Like smokers hate us.
Yeah, well, because everybody thinks that vaping is the douchiest thing in the world, and it's to the point where I am a little bit embarrassed to vape in public, and that is so shitty.
Right.
I'm
because
sorry, it's the reality of it. Like, people just have...
no vape etiquette.
No, it's not even that, but they have this image of just every time I see something on the news about vaping, I'm like...
Right.
You're not going to make it look very cool.
Yeah.
I mean, not that it has to be cool.
Right.
The customers that I have are cool, but vaping it's not cool or uncool. It's neutral. It's a nicotine delivery device. It is, you know. Now, I would say if I was watching The Godfather and Michael Corleone was like figuring out how to take out the 5 families, and he was like, instead of a cigarette, he was like, I would be like, this movie sucks.
Right.
But I mean, look, it's.
But what if you did it with a cigar?
It would be cool.
Yeah, it would be cool.
Smoking still has that rebel allure to it,
Right,
And
which is why the kids still do it.
But there's that, and when it's movies, and then when you're talking to somebody who smokes 2 packs a day, and they smell like cigarette, they stink of cigarettes,
Right.
Which was just an insult against them. It's just the reality. It's like, all right, maybe it's not so cool, or when using an oxygen tank, it's not so cool.
Yeah.
But in movies, it's cool. I expect gangster movies for everybody to be smoking. That's the reality of it.
You do see some of them vaping now, though, in some of the movies. Haven't you seen them? I've seen a couple TV shows with people.
I'm not gonna fucking spend any money on movies unless it's Star Wars. I don't go to movies anymore, man.
You don't go to movies?
No. I got rid of my TV, Xbox, and all that shit because I knew I had to gear up and work on. I just
No time for it if you're.
no. I've been working. Yeah. Plus, Jay told I've always wanted to learn how to play guitar, and
Oh, nice.
So I got one coming in, and really, I don't have any aspirations or delusions of grandeur being in a band and whatever. I just want to learn how to play some riffs of bands that I really like.
Right.
That's all. That's all of the music that I love so much.
Right.
You know, I think it'd be cool and just something to do. It's not like it's any more or less productive than any hobby out there, but it's just it would make me feel it's just different
you
than
accomplished something. That's another
watching
goal.
TV.
Right.
The same shit, and there's some great TV. I mean, there is some great TV out there.
Yeah, Breaking
but
Bad.
it's Breaking Bad,
I like
House
The
of
Walking
Cards, Walking Dead. I'm like mixed.
Dead. Yeah.
I'm mixed on. So many good shows. Mad Men was terrific. A lot of stuff. Master of None and You're the Worst and all that stuff. I like Blackish.
What about Orange is the New Black?
Pretty good. It
Yeah.
like at a certain point, I'm like, all right.
Right.
But I like oranges. Sorry, I got drinking my Monster.
No
It's
worries.
making me
No
burp
worries.
a little bit. I feel like for all the pluses that the vaping culture has brought,
Right.
it has completely not only. I feel like all the stuff that I could say, oh, it's not meant to appeal to kids, but kids see those cloud tricks and stuff, and they see those flavors, and they start vaping because of that. That's the reality of it.
Right.
And also, it's like it.
Well, I mean, yes and no, because
that's the reality of it. Because
No,
they're seeing that like
I
it
disagree.
looks cool.
I disagree. Simply because if you go to a high school, my daughter's in high school right now, right? And there is a write-up that you get, right? And it's not for vaping. It's for juuling, right? So you get written up for juuling. Now, juuling, if you guys don't know, is a super high nicotine small device you put in your mouth. You can't find them anywhere because they're so damn popular. And unfortunately, that's the type of vaping that kids are getting into now. Maybe 2 years ago,
Is
might
that
have been.
taking that? Is that was somebody? Were those people that were going to smoke?
I would say so if they were young high school kids.
So look, obviously you can't sell to people that are underage, but if it was somebody that a lot of people, I started smoking when I was 18 because I'm a law-abiding citizen, but but a lot of people that they started smoking and part of it I think is because my parents didn't smoke. A lot of people, did your parents smoke?
No, my parents didn't smoke, but I started smoking like 4th grade was the first time I had a cigarette.
Right, that's fucking not good.
Right.
But a lot of people start smoking very young, and obviously, look, I'm not selling to people that are underage, but realistically, if somebody's 14, 15, and they're smoking, I don't think they should try vaping.
Right.
But it's, I mean, it's considered, you know, the Royal College of Physicians says it's, you know, so it's not good though. It makes us look really bad.
Right. Yeah, so that's what I was like, man.
All right, so look, there's still I can name multiple that come into my shop that already know about this stuff, that want to blow clouds and stuff like that, and they are underage, and it's like
I don't get them in my shop for some reason, and maybe just because it's called this old vape shop.
No, but it's on Mill. I don't get them in Phoenix.
Oh, okay. So
it's like it's Mill. Like we are we have to be like paranoid strict.
Well, yeah, it's Tempe.
Right, and just it's like
and it's just
it's a younger crowd.
Right.
That's the reality. You know what I mean? People walking in, and if it's a group, I'm a little mixed. Like sometimes I can tell the person's over 18 if they don't have, but they don't get to come near the counter. They sit. And if they don't ask questions, if they start asking questions about vaping, you guys all get the fuck out.
Right.
But if it's a group and they're all want to try, I'm sorry. Like
if one of you's not 18,
these people are not upset.
Right.
They're not. I'm like, look, even people that are over the age of 18 that I have to turn away, they're not upset. I'm like, look, I don't care. And same with samples and stuff like that. I don't. You know, there's places, shop owners are like, oh, my customers are so angry. I'm like, how are your customers angry? You just have. There's a difference between I'd like to try some flavors, 50 cents, or hey, as of August 8th, 2016, the FDA's to you got to explain it.
Yeah, you do, and it's horrible that we have to explain it.
Yeah, but it's not.
I've got it posted on my bars.
I have zero objections.
Right.
Most people do it. Sometimes people will smell it and whatever.
Yeah.
But that's not any issues. You just have to maybe not be a douche to your customers would probably be a good idea.
Right. No, I've been fortunate enough here at the shop where I haven't had much issue with underage stuff. Even when they come in, as soon as they come in, we're like, "Hey, IDs," you know.
I mean, it's now. I'm guarding people that have like full beards and shit.
Because you don't know, they're all big and hairy now.
No, because it's not even that; it's habit.
Yeah.
If I train myself for everybody,
right.
Oh, I remember. I had this is like 3 years ago, and it was like an event. Dude comes in, he's vaping, he's a tall dude, facial hair and stuff like that. He's already got a vape, he's trying some flavors, he's from out of town.
Right.
And we were talking, he's like, oh, yo, what do you do? And he's, I'm like, he's like, oh, I'm a professional skateboarder or whatnot. And I'm like, oh, cool, you in college, like, how old are you? He's like, I'm 15. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
You gotta leave. Like, right. And look, I can almost, and as far as fake ID, I don't think we have too much of that. But look, I can never guarantee that somebody is.
If they're getting a fake ID, it's going to say 21, not 18.
Well, but look, I'm looking for the date of birth. Like,
right.
I mean, yeah. I'm, you know what I mean, and
nobody gets a fake ID for vaping.
Well,
maybe.
I mean, we have really good juice, so it's really cool. We have Magic the Gathering and stuff.
Right.
But I can't guarantee that people have come in, not with a group or with these people, but have purchased stuff for people that are underage. And now we're so strict on our website. You have to have a copy of your driver's license.
Right.
Driver's license has to match the ID on file when we do signature on delivery. Unless it's very different. I mean, this is for every new customer. People we don't know. If it's a long-time customer that is in my shop and they're just ordering online, copy of the ID and that, because I can prove. But we really, I mean, look, again, I can't guarantee that anything from my shop has never been sold to somebody underage, but it's never intent. I mean, we try to be, especially with the FDA, and even obviously before that.
Even before the FDA,
we have to
both
be
of us were.
because it's not. even before it was the law, it's not.
Yeah. It's not something.
These are kids. They're young kids. You don't want to give them anything. The brain is still developing.
Right.
And it's not ethical. The only time, let's say, if it was legal to sell to people underage, if somebody was a smoker, then I would.
Yeah.
You know, I would be like, have you tried to quit, patch, and whatever? I couldn't do it. Okay. You know, that's.
If they were underage?
If it was legal to
Oh,
sell.
if it was legal,
yeah.
yeah.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let
Not
me
now.
clarify
Not
that
now.
again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's, you know, so.
Right.
You know.
Well, it's
still interesting. I mean, it's not the industry. I mean, it's not like. I mean, it's like it's only been around really. I've only been. It's only like 5 years old in Phoenix.
Right.
It's only 5 years old.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to think. Like.
And there's what 200 plus shops now in Phoenix.
I don't know if there's as many anymore.
Yeah, that's true. A few of them have closed now.
But we're not counting smoke shops, and smoke shops, a lot of them carry like stuff that's on par or better than some vape shops.
Than
like
some vape
HQ,
shops.
like HQ.
Right.
They got a lot of shit.
Yeah.
I mean, that is not. They're not treating it as like a joke.
Right. It's not
Walgreens is selling.
cosmic fog.
Yeah, I'm like, all right.
Yeah, they called me up the other day, like, hey, do you want to pick up our juice? I was like, no, it's sold at Walgreens.
Oh, but you still sell fidget spinners?
Well, that's because Max works here.
What?
You're going to sell Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, but that's cool.
No, it's not.
I don't care.
Like
I play it. It's cool.
Like when you guys used to play Humanity or Cards Against Humanity.
We still play. I played that the other night.
Did you? I was
Yeah.
like, that is the stupidest game in the world, and I cannot hang out with these people.
Yeah, well, you still did. I'm fucking here on
Well,
your
that's why I opened my own
podcast,
shop.
bro.
That's why I had to open
Didn't
my own
you
shop.
come one time with your wife and play?
Oh, I don't think we played. I think I sat there and drank
Dude,
beer from the liquor store next door.
Yeah, those were the Wild West days
Right.
of butt out. Like, I can't. And look, as a business matures, and part of
Right.
that, look, 25 with no business experience, making
Right.
good money, and some of it went to my head, and you don't know what to do, and you don't know what's. Dude, we used to drink all the time in the shop.
Right.
It was just adorable. You grab, not like to the point we were all wasted, but it was like,
A beer here, a beer there.
yeah, and I'm like, looking back, I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, what were we doing?
We were crazy, man.
Yeah.
I did the same thing. Shit. If I had a party right now in the shop, I'd probably drink a beer.
All right.
But I don't have beer.
You should be drinking. Like, you got to get rid of the owner's body.
I got rid of 45 pounds of the owner's body, bro. I know I got to get rid of more, though. Because I got big, bro. I got heavy. I got up to like 360 pounds.
I would say that the vaping community isn't. I wish they would take advantage of. And I'm in a lucky situation because I was able. It is hard, and I didn't start.
Right.
I wasn't obese, but I'm
Right.
in a nice financial situation to where I got personal training
Right.
from a really, really, really good trainer.
Right.
Brooks, I miss you, dude. He's in Denver or in Colorado Springs.
Is that where he's living now?
Lifting, and he looks like he is a big old meathead. He's a giant.
Yeah.
And he's a chiseled Greek statue, but he is like the coolest dude, and
Yeah.
he's got. And now I'm with Matt, who's the owner of that gym.
Right.
And he's also super cool.
Right on.
Yeah. But I mean that's so I encourage, if you vape and you used to smoke, give it a try, because there was not that. I mean, there were all the other issues with it sucks.
Right.
I mean, if anybody needs fitness advice, you talk to Martin over at Kidney Puncher.
Yeah, buddy. Muscles.
Him and I are going to have a lifting contest in 10 years, 2027, and I will beat him. I will beat him.
Wow.
Because he has injuries from lifting, so no, like, and even if I lose, it'll be cool.
Yeah.
So
In 10 years, you're going to get that big.
I don't know. No, there's only so much, but
Right.
maybe that's strong. I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably not, or maybe I'll get popcorn lung. Who the fuck knows?
No diacetyl. I love diacetyl.
Yeah, me too.
It's so delicious.
I remember, and look, if that's one of the things that I'm a little bit hypocritical, like no food diet, but
Right.
there is a chance that diacetyl is. I don't think so, but there is a chance that it increases some harmful effects. But all right, so I'm a hypocrite with the food diet and stuff and vaping. We were talking about vaping a whole bunch because I have that in the juice because it makes it taste good.
Right.
So it's like everybody. So I guess I can't really make any criticisms about that.
Right,
I
right.
have to retract those criticisms because it's. But I think again, there's a whole shit ton of that in cigarettes, and there's not any cases linked up to that. It was just a nice news story.
Yeah.
The news doesn't really.
No, the media hates us.
They do not, or they don't hate us.
Yeah,
they
hate
don't.
us.
No, they don't hate us. It's just that everybody hates vapors. Now, it's not that the media is they just want ad revenue.
Right.
They want views. They don't hate
Well,
us.
blowing up batteries because of user error is.
No, shop error, like we talked about.
Well, it's shop error too, but I mean, I'm a long-time vapor, and I've had batteries heat up on me and blow up on me. But
Well, maybe
because
you
I
shouldn't
made
be
a
using
user
mechanical.
error.
Maybe you shouldn't be using mechanical.
Mechanicals
mods.
are the shit.
Yeah, okay. And
I enjoy
2
it,
years
especially
ago.
now with these tanks that pair up.
Is that a
really well.
mechanical mod?
It's a king, baby.
Do you want any Dharmas?
No, I don't want any Dharmas. I think I have 2 of them.
They're authentics.
They're authentic kings, clones.
Yeah, that was a good investment.
Yeah.
We have Caleb, one of my longtime employees, one of my, props, Caleb, if you're watching this. I don't think you are because you're not
It's almost
biggest
an hour
into
long.
vape culture. No, anyway.
Yeah.
But he made a whole, he redesigned, the front window displays, and it was some glass jars and some pictures of Bud Out in the Evolution, and one of them is a jar of just disassembled Dharmas. So every time I look at it, I paid,
It's got a $500 piece of art right there.
yeah, it was a really good investment, and I'm glad that was fulfilled in a reasonable time frame.
I've been fortunate. I never got that big and had enough money to invest a shit ton into hardware where I lost on it.
Oh, God.
I lose little bits here and there, but
I have just because you don't know what the market. Now it's like we tried. We were ahead, and then we were way behind. Then we
Right.
started to catch up, and then we really just tried to
stabilize.
tried to kind of copy.
Yeah.
And then
This old vape shop.
I mean, except with higher prices.
It's a higher price.
No, but now I really have. I feel like what we can look. We have stuff like the Alien. We have some 200 plus, but really, I like to have 2 to 3, maybe 2 to 3 options per level. I have basically basically 3 levels, like the AIO and the eye care.
Yeah.
Really small. Convenient and not crazy powerful devices, but they'll get the job done. Then what I call the medium tier, which is or stuff with the Nautilus and stuff. So higher nicotine, tighter draw. We got some Nautilus 2s in.
Right.
And then the Pico and the iPower and stuff like that'll run those, but won't run over 80 watts or so. And then we have this stuff. We got the Cleto 120 and I think that's it as far as tanks that are over 100 watts. And we got the Baby Beast and the Alien and stuff like that. And we sell really good batteries, but there are shops that I can't hit every niche. When we do that, it just sits on my shelf because pricing and whatnot.
I'm actually pretty good with hitting every little niche, man. Outside of builders per se, because we have coils here for them when they come in and whatnot. But we've done pretty well being able to reach the different spectrums in vape. I haven't been to have to be a strictly
but you don't
shop.
have 15 options per. You don't have 800.
No,
that's the thing. If somebody again, I'm a shop for smokers.
Right.
So if somebody comes in, they've never been to a vape shop, it's confusing and it's a little intimidating.
Right.
So I don't want to have just rows and rows and rows of fucking 15 different drippers and 15 different mods and that all, to a certain extent, they all do the same shit.
Right.
So I and there are shops that do that a lot better than I do. So I'm going to leave that to them.
Yeah.
That's cool. You know what I mean? So be it. If you want, if you are not going to come to Bud Out for the newest, hottest device.
Right.
It's just not, there's some stuff that we carry that's really good that happens to be popular, like the Alien.
Right.
My margins are trash on those, which means it's a good price for customers.
Right.
What are you selling it for?
$89.
Well, I sell it. The experience at Bud Out is worth $6 more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
I should sell it for 110.
That's what they sell it for online from Smoke.
No.
It's 109.
No.
That's their MSRP.
All right. Well, you can't.
That's
You can't because look,
because the market's been freaking plummeted by shops that are just cutthroat. Maybe.
Well,
I don't know.
V2's pretty good to deal with, though. I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to go there and
Yeah.
they're cool. I look, to each their own. It's still a free market, and
Right.
but it's tough. It's tough when it's as far as our juice is mid to high level pricing, but it's lab made juice and the flavors are
Right.
good. At least, I mean, we have a lot of good flavors. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether people like them or not, we put in the work and stuff like that. Good batch control. But as far as the hardware, like, if
Everybody's selling the same shit.
well, but if it's $10 more, most people will pay that.
Right.
If they go, but let's say something is $40 more.
No, they're not going to.
I can't hate on somebody for that. Like,
Right.
what am I supposed to say? Like, no, like you can't buy it, and some people will, but
Right.
but I can't. There are two qualifications for me carrying hardware. It has to be reliable. Like, we offer a really good warranty.
Right.
Pretty sure it's the best in the biz. It is like a 90-day, like almost no questions asked warranty.
Even if it's been dropped.
No. It depends
then
on
there's a
if we really like the customer, we'll hook them up. You know what I mean?
Right,
but
right.
no, I mean sometimes I get reimbursed for the cost of those defective items.
Right.
Sometimes I don't.
No, majority of the time you don't, especially at 90 days because the distributors aren't going to do that.
Well, I mean, look, but if I'm selling the shit for 20% over, I can't offer a warranty.
Yeah.
So look, to each their own, but
And that's how I think. So
it has to be reliable, and I have to make good margins, and I have to make money.
Right. No, it's business, man.
Yeah.
So that's how I kind of explain it to people here too. Is just like, hey, man, we warranty this shit. If this breaks, then we're gonna take care
And
of
there
it.
were some people like, just because my stuff is more, oh, you're gouging. What a
Right.
ripoff. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
so don't bitch at me. Go somewhere else. Like, that's cool. If you want to save, I am not. If it's a customer and like, I don't mind if they come to me. It depends. If it's their first time and I can buy this online, I'm like, okay, go online. If it's a good customer and I know, like, if they're like, hey, dude, like, I want to buy it from you, but it's a $30 difference, I'll meet somewhere halfway. Like, I'm okay with that.
Right.
Depending on the item and margins and stuff like that. But, I gotta make my margins, man. I have to make money. Like, that's.
Yeah, we have to live and provide for ourselves and our families and stuff. So
I
mean,
have to be able to afford training and metal shows. No. I mean,
I've got to feed the kids, and
No, my employees. I pay my employees well.
and you've got good employees.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you're listening, Max, if you ever want to, no.
Take
Sorry,
him.
Max.
He'd do great at mail.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would.
Why? I'm
'Cause
already
he's
there.
young
You
and
can't.
hip.
You're not going to be better than me.
I don't know. He makes
Why
some good Snapchat videos for
Nobody-
himself.
I don't know. Yeah. What is he going to get? Like one view on all of his stuff?
I don't know. He gets tons, I think.
Oh, I didn't know you were still there. My bad. No, I've known Max. How long have I known? It's been like two plus years.
Yeah, he's been here almost 2.5.
Always cool.
Yeah.
Always like super pleasant. And I love. I imagine if it's different if it's you and it's an employee, and then there's obviously sometimes that look, it's you're the boss. There's some
Right.
there's with every employee that
Let's not talk about everything you do for your employees, because then it's going to piss Max off.
well, do you also subsidize a gym membership for them?
Hell no.
I'm like, I don't offer health insurance, but go to the gym. It's like chickens. It's like chicken soup.
No.
Although my dad, they can go get a good deal on their eye exams. Nothing else.
Well, there you go.
Nothing else. And
Well,
but I love I mean, they're all so different. Like I have a dude who's a pretty well-rounded. I mean, he's in the program, and that's how I met him in 12 steps. And he's my lab guy. And this is like, he asked me for a retail job. I didn't have any room, and
Right.
I didn't know how he would do. And then he basically like just kind of showed up. I'm like, just go work in the lab, and he's been terrific.
Yeah.
Like everything, you can have a nice looking lab, but if you got shitty people, then your product's gonna suck.
Right.
And then Dirty D, who's Facebook Dirty D is different than real. No, I love D's. He really saved my ass when I need, and there's not too many people that love Butt Out more than he does. And of course, I got Franchino, I got Caleb, Bryce, I got Kessler, Keith, who's in Italy right now. Yeah, probably smoking that good Italian weed.
So you're doing a lot better than me because I have Max and Caleb.
But it's different.
Yeah.
You wanna trade payrolls?
No.
Okay.
No, not at
what
all.
I thought.
No, Max gets paid well. So does Kayla.
And Caden.
You think about the jobs we're doing here at vape shops. I mean, we're vaping and hanging out with people.
But it's not. But it's not that the job. The way I look at it, the job, at least as far as retail, the job itself is not particularly hard.
Right.
But it has to be perfect every fucking time for the customer.
Right.
Because that's when they walk in. Yeah. I don't give a shit if I've had a bad day. Now, if it's how you doing? I'm a little tired, whatever. Right. Blah blah blah, and it depends on the customer. They deserve the best experience every fucking time.
Yeah, that's how I.
That's the hard part. I mean, it doesn't. There is. That's and if you love it and you love customers, but it doesn't even matter. Even if they're pain in the ass customers, we don't have too many. But even if they are. There's like rushed rude, which I'm like okay with.
Right.
If there's rude, I'm like, yeah, you can get the fuck out of my shop. Like if my employees are not ever rude or condescending to. If they are, maybe they're lucky if they get one warning. Otherwise, like I'll back up my customers. But if a customer is legitimately rude to one of my employees, like they could say, hey, you better talk to me right, or you can get out of the shop. Right. And I'll back them up 100% because it's about respect. We respect our customers. Right. And we expect the same respect back because they're not like just random they're not just random dudes that you can abuse. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because we'll beat the shit out of you if you ever fuck with us. Like that's the reality of it. Like, well,
yeah, man, it's been a crazy.
You have to. You have to love it. You have to love every single customer that comes in. You have to. Because if you don't, the day that you're like, when you get up and deal with a customer, if in your head you're like,
right.
Then.
And it's bad news. Then you get a bad Yelp.
I don't know what that is.
Me either. Well, I know. I have one.
I had one, but unfortunately.
You paid to get it off?
No, he's no longer with us.
Oh, that's right. Rest in peace.
Yeah. No, that was we really try. The only situation where I could see customers being unhappy is with harder. Let's say they get hard or juice they don't like. Let's say they come back, they're like, I hate this juice. Okay, here's a new bottle. Sorry you didn't like it. Like, I don't care.
That's crazy talk.
What?
I can't do that because I don't have the lab.
No, but I mean, I really, like, again, I'm not either you.
I'm totally deleting that statement. Because cannot do that.
Remember that time where I'm like, do you want me to make a line for you and with great margins? And you're like, no, I have sub-ohm Sam. It'll take off.
No.
I wish that our lab was better back early.
You were not giving me great margins.
Well, I mean, back then, hey, I gotta make a living. I would starve. Otherwise. No, I mean, well,
I remember I was like, what?
Dude, our lab, let's just say that the lab staff I have now is just a little bit better than the way it was. You used to not always get your orders in a timely fashion. But,
Yeah, that happened with Eli too, shithead.
Yeah, that's not my problem. It's his,
I love you, Eli. I love you, Eli. I hope you're having fun in Oregon, jerk. Nice, beautiful weather.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, shit, dude. We're at an hour and 8 minutes, man.
So I'm just getting started.
I know. Well, it's the Matt Berger show right now.
Well, I mean, let's talk. I don't know. I like talking.
You do. This is great. I love it, dude. It's cool.
What other topics? Well,
I think we can save other topics for other future events, man. We don't want to get too crazy right now and go through it all and then not have anything to say next time.
Okay. Well, look, I will say this about Luis. If you vape and you're ever in the Phoenix area, come to Butt Out. We're at 7th Street, Virginia. We're at 4th Street Mill. Best experience you'll ever have.
Yes. No, I'll be honest, the reason you guys get the service you get here at this old vape shop is because I watched Matt work with me as a customer, and I would go into his shop and literally just watch him and how he treated his customers.
It's still the same.
Yeah.
Except it's probably better because I'm a little I'm a little more. I have a lot more clarity in my head these days, but it's still the same.
Yeah.
I still love it. It doesn't. And look, I've gotten more experience with certain. Obviously, look, I count. I've probably done 30,000 transactions. So you get that, and it's like clockwork.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I love it, but at the same time, nothing phases me anymore because I've worked with so many different types of customers. It's somebody, if it's an 18-year-old kid that wants to blow clouds, if it's somebody who's a truck driver that smokes 2 packs a day, or if it's whoever it is, I do my best. And sometimes these people leave without buying anything.
Really?
I mean,
That's
for
very
me,
rare, far between,
I'm a fucking great closer, but no, it's different on Mill. If it's Phoenix, it's so rare, but Mill, we get a lot of walk-ins and stuff, and so be it. I am not in the business of selling stuff to people that don't want it.
Right.
I don't want people to regret their purchase.
Exactly.
But I really do my best. You don't want to undersell people, but you don't want to oversell people. Like somebody who smokes a few cigarettes a day or a week.
They don't need a.
And it used to be, not so much anymore, but it used to be like, yeah, I just wanted a simple setup, and they sold me a $250 setup. I'm like, and I don't know how to use it. I'm like, maybe you should shop here from now on. So.
Well, cool, man. All right, Matt.
I
appreciate you coming
I hope
over.
nobody was offended by any of my rants. I love you all.
He loves you all. He's an equal opportunity lover.
Except for Five Finger Death Punch. The band sucks. No, I do. I love, and I'm appreciative of every single customer. And anybody who's given me advice or help along the way, and especially Luis on a personal and business level, and we vice versa. It's like there's times where he's like, everything will be fine, and then vice versa.
Yeah, we do that to each other all the time.
Yeah, but June is a month of positivity.
Positivity.
Only positivity.
Looking up.
Yes.
All right, brother. My name's Luis. I'm
Matt. I'm Matt. Matt Berger.
Matt Berger from Bud Out E6.
What is this? Is this Kings of Vape Town?
That might be the name of this. We'll see how committed you are. That's what I'm concerned about.
Well, we'll see how sales are this week.
But yes.
The Earls and Dukes of Vape Town.
The Earls and Dukes of Vape Town. We once were kings.
Yes.
And now we're just Dukes and Earls.
Yes.
There's a new king
the
in
nobility
town.
of Vape Town, not royalty anymore.
No.
But, we still do all right.
We're hanging just above
I got
peasant.
a bunch of people with butt out tattoos. When you get a few, then you can
didn't allow my customers to do it earlier.
Why?
Because why would I want them to something so temporary?
It's not temporary.
Well, I mean, let's say it's here for 30 years and then it goes away.
So?
I don't know.
So, are you gonna?
You try to get me to get a butt out tattoo.
You should. I'll pay for it. But look, are you gonna look at this? Are you gonna look if
for me? Yes, this is my shop.
No, but
it's
about the family too. Like, if something, and it's about the family, and look, if something ever I don't know if it's gonna be FDA or just like shitty enough. Like sometimes just business doesn't work out, no matter how much you try, and it would suck.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna look at this and say, that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, for me, it's kind of like it's got to mean something to me. That's like a shop, my shop. Yeah,
but it's not just a shop. It's not just a shop. It's your babe, and it's you've met so many people.
Okay, so
friends.
guys, if you want to do TOVS, Matt Berger is going to pay for it.
No, I'm going to pay for a butt out tattoo, and my logo's cooler. Sorry, bro.
I don't know. Look at that, dude. That's gorgeous. I totally.
Yeah, look at this Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden.
Yeah, see,
plus
somebody
there's Vape in your name.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why you can advertise on Facebook and I can't.
No, I can't.
No?
I get zucked.
You get zucked. That's a cool word.
I didn't come up with it. I get zucked.
Awesome.
I'm like, oh, that's helpful. I spent a bunch of money to get some likes and stuff, and now I'll post something. I'll be like, this is the most important day of my life, and it'll get seen by like 3 people. I'm like, all right.
Well, right on, guys. We're going
All
to
right.
close this out. We're at 1 hour, 13 minutes. My name is Luis Bermudez. This is
Matt Berger.
And we'll see you next time here on the Kings of Vape Town.
Later.
That was a long time sitting. I can edit that out.